so you're here to know how to download this stuff. Great. So so there are two things you have to download. So for one, there's Python, which is basically the application that you run. So if you write the code, then Python will execute it. But only having Python is not really enough, because you also need someone to manage all the interactions between Python. And that's where Pycharm comes in. So Pycharm is an IDE, meaning that you can write code in there, and it's really useful. It has some cool features, and what you then do is when you tell the IDE to run the code, it does everything for you. So it goes like, alright, here's the Python version, so here's the code, then handles the interactions, and it's just really useful to have an IDE like that. So I would advise you first get Python and then Pycharm, but it's kind of irrelevant. So there are different versions of Python. First of all, there's Python 2 and 3. Always go with Python 3. Always. The only people who use Python 2 is if they have like some huge code written in Python 2 and they don't want to transition to Python 3 because it's so much work. But you should always use Python 3. Now there's, unfortunately, or luckily rather, there's a lot of Python 3 versions. So there's always Python 3.x.y. And right now the latest version, so if you go to the link, so both these links are in the description. If you go to this link, it will tell you to get the latest Python version. But you might not want that, because people who make these extra libraries, these modules for you, I mean not for you but for everyone, they often cannot keep up with the speed Python is developing. Python is putting out new versions, so if this last number is a 1 or 2 or maybe even 3, I would advise you to take the lower one from the one before. So right now it's like 3.8.2, and I've just checked that one of my modules I am going to use only runs on 3.7 for now. They're obviously going to fix that, but make sure that doesn't happen to you, that you have like Python 3.8.2 and then modules that you need don't run. But we get to modules in a later video. Now I would advise you to take this 3.7.7. I mean, obviously if you're watching this on a later date, you would obviously want something else. So as soon as there's like Python 3.8.3 or Python 3.8.4, you will probably want to get the Python 3.8 and then the latest one. But I'm now going to take this one. So there are multiple ways of installing this. So first you click this, and then you go down here, and then you check on the downloads in there. For Mac there's only one way, and then for Windows there's a lot. So I always go with the executable installer. It seems like the easiest one. It's the one where you get like this window and then you just click continue, continue, agree, continue, finish. That's, I don't know, I think it's very simple. So you click that, then you execute it, and that's basically handling everything for you. And then you go to Pycharm. Also link in the description, and there are two different. First of all, you have to select your operating system, and then there's two versions. So one paid version and the non-paid version. You go with the non-paid version, obviously, because it has all the features you need. All this has is like, it has like extra web development and database stuff, but you don't really need that, especially not for machine learning, right? So get this one, and then when everything's downloaded, and probably get, I don't know, you'll probably get an executable installer here as well. And then what you do is you open Pycharm, which is this thing, probably appears on your desktop, and then the window opens and you go on new project, and then now you can go back to the video we just came from.